So let's see how this actually works in Microsoft Project. I've opened a new project now that has 9 tasks. Notice that 3 tasks are set up as fixed units, 3 are set up as fixed work, and 3 are set up as the fixed duration task types. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the task usage view, where it'll make it a little bit easier to see the default task type behavior in Microsoft Project. I'm also going to right-click anywhere in the time phase grid on the right side of the screen, and I'll choose the item Show Split, which actually creates a custom split screen view on the fly. Notice on this first task we have Dorian assigned working 50% units, 40 hours of work, duration of 10 days. The task type is fixed units, therefore the units value is locked. If we change the work to 32, the units are locked. We change the work. What number must be recalculated? I click OK. By golly, look, as predicted, the duration changed. Why? It was the only number left. If I click the next button, that'll take me to the task fixed units 2. I have Jerry assigned, working half-time, 40 hours of work. The duration is 10 days. Notice the task type again is fixed units. So on this task, if I change the duration to 12 days, the units are locked. I change the duration. What number must be recalculated? I click OK. Bingo, as predicted, it is the work. Why? It was the only number left. It behaved as predicted. Let's go to the next task. It's called Fixed Work 1. On this task, I have Joe working half-time, 40 hours of work, duration of 10 days. Notice the task type now is fixed work. On this task, if I change the units to 100%, the work is locked. I change the units. What number must be recalculated? I click OK. By golly, no surprise there. It's duration just as predicted. Why? Because it's the only number left. Let's go to the next task. It's called Fixed Work 2. I have Larry assigned, working half-time, 40 hours of work, duration of 10 days. Again, the task type is fixed work. On this, if I change the duration to 5 days, which number will be recalculated? The work is locked. We change the duration. Microsoft Project should recalculate the units, right? Because it's the only number left. When I click OK, here's where we get a nasty surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, notice the units value did not change. Instead, we need to look in the top pane. Notice there's a column called Peak. This was a new column that was introduced in Microsoft Project 2010. It was introduced to solve a long-standing bug that had been in the software for as many years as I've been using it. I did confirm back in 2010 the bug is fixed, the software is working correctly. But what Microsoft has done is introduced confusion on the mind of the users in its wake. Notice, everybody, the old units value of 50% is shown in a column called Assignment Units. And that is the value that is shown here in the bottom pane. It's the original starting value. The new value is now found in the Peak column. Now, is the software really assigning Larry to work 100% units? Absolutely. Look, ladies and gentlemen, he's assigned to work 8 hours a day over the life of that task. The software is working as expected, but the new units value is shown in the Peak column. It doesn't show in the units column of the task form pane. I've got to tell you that our Microsoft Project MVP community complained about this behavior, but Microsoft elected not to change it. So we just have to live with it. There is no way to change how this works. So if we can't change it, let's live with it, everybody. Let's go on. We'll go to the next task. On the task fixed duration 1, we have Marlene assigned, working half-time, 40 hours, for a duration of 10 days. Notice this task is fixed duration task type. What we're going to do is change her units value to 75%. The duration is locked. We change the units. What number must be recalculated? When I click OK, by golly, it was work, just as we predicted. Why? It's the only number left. Let's go to the final task of our first session. This is fixed duration 2. On this task, we have Mickey Cobb assigned. Now, everybody, you need to know my heart goes pit-a-pat when I say the name Mickey Cobb. That's actually my wife's name. So I honor her in this project by assigning Mickey Cobb to work half-time for 40 hours over a duration of 10 days. Now, the task type is fixed duration. Therefore, the duration is locked. If I change the work to 80 hours, which number must be recalculated? The duration is locked. We change the work. When I click OK, again, here's the nasty surprise. The units value didn't change in the task form, but when I look in the peak column, bingo, there's the new units value at 100%. There's the old one in assignment units, but the new one is shown in the peak column. Is Mickey Cobb really assigned to work full-time on this task? Bingo, everybody look, out in the time phase grid, she sure is. Again, remember, this is new behavior in Microsoft Project, introduced to solve a bug in Microsoft Project 2010, and there is no way to change that behavior. Therefore, we live with it, ladies and gentlemen.